kind of you to summon me. I thank you wholeheartedly. Beyond the doors, the playroom. Found one of my brethren sniffing about. I made sure.
Locked. Of course. Regis, I don't have a fist fight with this door. Do you mind? Thanks.
At your service.
Utter silence. No one here.
We should look around at least.
Something inside? Nope, empty. A tin knight.
A rocking horse. Rather worn. I suppose it got a lot of use.
Does he have to stand next to me? Fucking asshole.
Wooden duck. Somebody broke its wings off. Nice tune.
Indeed. Pleasant. It's a shame the mechanism...
Miniature tableware. And plush toys. Cute. Well, well. A key tucked behind a picture. Nice tune.
Indeed. Pleasant. It's a shame the mechanism's damaged.
What the? Found a notebook. Property of Isabelle de Roquefort, court governess. The notes of Syanna and Anna Henrietta's governess when they were little.
I'm not sure it will help, but I suppose there's no harm in leafing through them.
Syanna gave me a drawing today.
Charming.
Of freshly decapitated bodies covered in blood.
Perhaps not so much.
I asked her why ever she would draw such a thing. Her Highness claimed it was a rendering of nightmares which have plagued her for as long as she can remember. Syanna does wake up screaming nearly every night, save when she shares a bed with Henrietta. Curse of the Black Sun. Supposedly girls afflicted by it had horrible dreams. Kind of horrible that made some of them go mad. The girls quarreled today. I must note rather sadly they did not behave as befits future ladies. The incident devolved into fisticuffs. Anna Henrietta was first to strike her sister. Syanna gave back as good as she'd gotten. By the time I separated them, Henrietta had lost 2 teeth. She ran off to complain to her parents. His Grace the Duke refused to believe my version of events. He laid all the blame on Syanna and vowed to punish the little one harshly. Henrietta did her best to have her sister's sentence commuted, but the Duke and Duchess proved unbending.
Once you're labeled a black sheep, it's so hard to shed that reputation.
Today I accompanied the girls for the first time to the land of 1,000 Fables. We spent half the day there. First we played with Thumbelina, then with Barbarossa, who proved quite the charmer for a brigand and pirate.
I'm beginning to suspect Isabelle de Roquefort wrote in her diary after taking a powerful hallucinogenic. Cannabis rudelaris, for instance, or...
Shh, don't interrupt. I tip my cap to Master Artorius Vigo for his achievement. He has proved he has no equal in the arcane arts.
Wait, Artorius was the court mage here, a specialist in illusions, which means...
Regis, last warning. Stop interrupting or I'll seat you in the corner. The girls told me if I ever wish to visit alone, I need but crack open the land of 1,000 Fables and utter out loud the incantation, Expecto Ludum.
A book as the key to an illusion. My, this grows more interesting by the minute.
Mages sent by the Conclave arrived today. They came to examine Syanna. I cannot know what conclusions they drew, but His Grace now seems clearly upset.
Curse of the Black Sun. There's no doubt then that she was diagnosed with the syndrome symptoms.
Or had that label planted on her. It goes on. I dared ask the Duke what would become of the girl. He did not reply. I tutored the girls in Nilfgaard. Syanna applies herself so, though she has great difficulty memorizing new vocabulary. Lady Henrietta seems more gifted in this regard, yet also prone to impish behavior. When she thought me out of earshot, she called me a blood accuser. She and Syanna laughed so hard they almost choked. Blooda is damned, or cursed. What's Cusa?
In the melodious tongue of our none-too-friendly neighbours to the south, the word describes the many-petalled flower that blooms in that place we so unmelodiously call the crotch.
Realize this might sound improbable, but maybe, just maybe, Anna Henrietta tossed Syanna into that illusion.
Not impossible. She would be safe there, and isolated. We must see.
Where's that book? Nothing under the carpet.
Did you expect something? Apart from the dust swept under there by a lazy chambermaid.
Is it? Let's see. Expecto ludum.
What is going on?
Regis? Regis! Land of 1,000 Fables. Incredible. Let's see where this road takes me. Going wild. Whole land's an illusion. It's so powerful there's no way to dispel it. That should be interesting.
Bloody hell, let him out!
Voices.
He gobbled up my gingerbread. Now it's my turn to gobble him. Hands off my hearth, dearie. You wouldn't want me to get cross.
Then you open it.
Now, who's this? A lost traveler? What's supposed to be here, sweetie? Why, you're old. Old and pale. But never worry. A bit of butter, a bit of spice, and you'll make a tasty morsel. Just as soon as I catch you.
Is this Spectre? I think I'm gonna treat her like fuck it.
Wild and a rotting carcass. Careful she doesn't douse.
Do I not have a crossbow?
What? Lost your nerve? Come on, come
kill this person.
It seems you've won.
What the hell was that?
The Wicked Witch. You've heard of her, haven't you? Now, where did you put that key?
Listen, how'd you come by a weapon?
It's Prince Charming's. He no longer needs it. Here it is.
Thank you. She'd have begged me for certain if you'd not... Syanna? Is that you?
It's been years, Jack.
Have you come to play?
No, I just want your beans, so you can breathe easy.
Beans? What beans?
Try not to interrupt. Well, Jack, where are they?
Syanna, I'm sorry, but I haven't got them.
Oh, something tells me you're lying. Perhaps you wish to play the old games after all, hmm? This little piggy went to market. This little piggy went home. For instance.
I'm telling the truth. I swear it. Henrietta, she ordered them buried all over so you wouldn't be able to leave.
Where?
I don't know. But Joss, the boy with the thing for wolves, he should know. He sticks his nose in everyone's affairs.
He had better know. Because if not, I'll find you and we'll have ourselves a little talk. Understand? Now shoo! Ah, all right. So why is it you're here?
Came to free you.
Nice of you, but a waste of your effort. I plan to free myself.
You might not. Bound to be easier with my help, as our most recent adventure amply showed.
Mm-hmm. Yet I still don't know why you even give a damn.
It's Dettlaff. He's trying to force Anna Henrietta's hand. Wants her to release you. Summoned monsters to attack Beauclair.
Sounds like Dettlaff, all right. But I doubt you came all this way just to bring me up to speed on current events. So get to the point, please.
Isn't it obvious? Offering to be your ally. We both want you out of here. You because you want your freedom back. Me because as soon as you meet with Dettlaff, he'll put an end to the chaos in the city.
You exposed me. I landed in prison because of you. Now you come to beg my help, I dare say. My life is full of surprises, isn't it? But normally I'd tell you to sod off. But, from what you say, folk are dying who have nothing to do with this. Not part of the plan. Dettlaff was only to kill those who deserved it. No one else. Fine, Witcher. I accept your offer. Consider us allies. Shake on it.
Curse even met.
And?
She was cruel. That
You killed her.
had no choice.
Funny. Mum's
Since you brought it up,
not a memory I enjoy revisiting, but when my parents disowned me, they ordered those very knights to escort me beyond the duchy's borders. All did so without uttering a single word in my defense.
like you said, they had their orders.
But Crespi was not ordered to beat me unconscious with a horsewhip after my first attempted escape. And Dulac had no instructions to deny me food and abuse me. I learned something then. Knights are not so chivalrous when no one's watching.
That explains a lot.
Shocked, aren't you? You Must have thought you had me pegged. Before bothering to hear my side. Everyone does that.
This plague.
Yes.
Which didn't.
Magical and
Your sister.
it's deceptive. There are two ways of...
Still don't.
Don't fret, just listen. That boy, that was Jack, of Beanstalk fame. You know that...
Jack. Climbed a jacket.
As we shall do if we can just find...
Stop.
No, because it must transpire exactly as it did in the tale. Clear now? So we must find... Joss can usually be found wandering the glade at the foot of the mount. It's some distance from here, past the witch's house to the right. So, what exactly is happening in the city?
Bloodshed. A massacre. Which is what? Gotta hurry.
Time flows differently in the Fables. We can stay here a week, yet outside mere minutes will have passed. Watch out! Pixies!
Not the friendliest pixies I've met.
We were put here to protect the Fable Sphere from intruders. Meaning you. Oh, unicorns! We must catch them. We won't have to walk everywhere then. I call the pink one. Exciting, isn't it? Reminds me of my childhood.
Reminds me of something altogether different.
Care to elaborate?
Rather not.
Oh my
Hey there.
god. What is going on, friend?
None at all. This is grand. I'm alright. Not in any danger. That's it. Now we're going to rip them in.
Relax, it's over.
No, it's not. There's more. Another wolf behind you. Ignore him. He always lies.
Aha. Boy who cried wolf. Still does, I suppose. And doesn't, when they actually appear.
The one and only. Listen, you little chit. Jack said you know what's become of his 3 beans. I don't know anything. Not one thing. And besides, watch out. Wolves!
This'll be interesting. Yellow beet.
And who? A bold's farm. Help!
Bet you.
I've...
Just like.
No, but... Help!
Let's say for a minute.
Of course not. A human. Good folk! Wolf! Say that word one more time and I'll chop you up. Feed you to the fishes. Understood?
All right, we should go.
Watch out for wolves!
Tough to talk to, that one.
Was it, though? You need merely remember he always lies. Or more precisely, reverses the truth.
Where to now?
I'm not sure. We should visit some of the other fables. The meaty ones, that is. Perhaps then Joss's hints will make more sense. It's just a few. Red Riding Hood, piglets and bears, 3 of each. And Goldilocks, of course. Then Longlocks, and a little lass who sells flint.
Fine. Let's get to work.
Oh my god, I can't believe this is part of the DLC, dog.
Stop prodding me and find the beans.
Incredible. You must have loved this place.
I did at first. But children get bored quickly. Even tea parties with a whole cackle of princesses eventually dull and routine.
What did you do then?
Dropped a duck egg in the swan's nest once, that sort of thing. Stole the pea out from under the princess. Who sleeps to this day, I think.
What the fuck? the Pied Piper. And the rats are actually following him.
Oh look! The Emperor of Nilfgaard. He's come out to show off his new robe.
Oh my god. No.
Such exquisite robes! The words never. My new attire reveals itself.
What the? What kind of land is this? What? Oh my god, dude. This is absolutely the best.
Ugh, ugly and fierce.
extract from a goose. That's new.
You really aim to concern yourself with that?
Care for a cigarillo? A bit of tobacco? A dab of fistek?
Remind me, what tale are you from?
Sold flints when I was a lass, but no one bought them, so I branched out. Now I deal in snuffs, puffs, all sorts of fun things. What'll you have, sweeties?
Magic beans. Do you have any?
If it's not the new name of some kicker I already have, dearies, then no. But maybe you'd like some.
Hey, where'd you get that ribbon? That's mine.
Is that so? Then why was it lying in the bushes? Finders keepers, sweetheart.
The ribbon. Mind explaining what the fuss is about?
There's not much to explain. I got it from a Turius Vigo when I was a child. It was to protect me from evil. It clearly didn't work, given how I ended up.
But it means a lot to you.
How should I put this? I have so few mementos from my childhood, and the ribbon reminds me of the good old days, when I was someone else.
Dears, could you continue this touching scene elsewhere, You're scaring away my customers.
Give Syanna the ribbon. Why not, huh?
Sugar plum. The only thing I hand out for free is a first hit. To get them to come back for a second, of course. For all else, you've got to pay.
What if I asked you nicely?
Ask me nicely and I might play you for it. A round of cards?
What have you got to sell exactly?
Like I said,
All right, let's play. If you lose, you give me the ribbon.
don't get your hopes up.
all right. Tell me
What?
what you want in return. You're not doing this out of the kindness of your heart.
Don't want anything in return.
Thank you.
Is that Little Red Riding Hood? Wait, Billy Goat. 4-leaf clover. Let's go see all of them. Let's see that,
Watch out! Pixies! Oh, the three little pigs' homes. Well, you know the story, don't you? Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Looks like Big Bad's already blown down the houses of straw and sticks. Brick's the only one left.
We should look inside. Remember Joss's words?
One beam lies out in the open, guarded by 3 nobodies. Yeah, could be it. Doesn't seem to be at home. A feather, broken. It was a fight. Goose feathers. Must have been flapping its wings. Or did it just get...
Watch out! Pixies! Hey, there, in the trees. Some kind of camp?
Defend the goose! The golden egg swift out!
But why keep her in a cage? Eggs from free-range birds are so much better. Stop Witcher?
Here it is. Got it. Good thing you posted that notice. Never would have found you otherwise.
I got a
Look,
golden
she
egg.
laid a golden egg for you.
Oh my god.
If only all my employers were that generous. Would have preferred a magic bean, but not about to complain.
Did you really travel all the way here for a contract?
Nature of the job.
I don't believe it. You must have had another reason.
Well, spent a few idyllic months in Beauclair some time past. Part of me wanted to come back, I think.
Oh yes. Visit Toussaint once and you'll always long to return. Botch, they didn't like that.
The big bad witcher huffed and puffed, and look, got a beam.
It cannot be.
What cannot be?
You actually have a sense of humor.
Why so shocked?
Well, when you arrived, all you did was pout and mumble things in that graphily monotone. And now this. A jest. And a good one at that. But here we are chatting away when there's work to do. We must keep looking. So, do you like it here?
No. Got a problem with magic in general. Illusions, portals, all that. Don't trust any of it.
A bow of old-fashioned tastes, eh? I like that. Ugh, ugly and fierce.
Hello? Can we talk?
Schmumbotch, my head! Damn it all! I swear that was the last time I... Oh, Syanna, a bloody long time it's been. You've changed.
Whereas you, not at all, big bad wolf. Though it seems you've started running.
And who should I run with, eh?
You could always have...
You know what they say about the hair of the dog?
Out of the question. And one...
They stripped me of my title and birthright, then banished me. A family spat, let's say.
This...
Where is it?
Shh, not...
Oh, I can be much louder.
Right there, the thread.
What?
1,000 times they cut my gut open, filled it full of rocks and drowned me in the river. So once you stopped coming, I decided to repay the little imp for all her loving labor. Now it's at the bottom of the well, she and the hunter, which means we can't play, and I'm under no obligation to talk to you, not about be...
It's a dog.
So, what...
Don't worry. I'll play with him. Or rather, play him. I just need that little red hood. The piece of apparel, that is.
That's a relief.
You wish to help me?
All right. Time to jump in the well.
Break a leg?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Any luck?
Yep. Look what I got.
That would never fit you. Give it to me. How do I look?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Let's go see the big bad wolf.
Let me guess. You'll play the granddaughter.
And you, the hunter.
You again? I thought I was clear. I will not talk to you if little Red Riding Hood is not with you.
Not a problem. Syanna can take her place.
What?
But Grandmama, what big eyes you have.
The better to see you is, my dear.
Granny.
The better to embrace you is, my dear.
And Grandmama, what big teeth you have. Eh?
The better to eat you is, my dear.
What just happened?
Damn it.
Remember what Joss...
Bottle caps, fake it.
Well then, one step.
What?
I find myself wondering if you're just horribly discreet, or if those mutations completely scrubbed away your curiosity. Are you really not interested in what happened? In what became of me after they cast me out?
Well, since you brought it up, I'd gladly hear the rest. Let's see. They'd escorted you out of the duchy.
Yes. And the noble knights of Toussaint, I didn't stop until we reached the Ketdu wilderness. They left me there alone, without a copper, in a torn lace dress, right when the frosts were setting in. They assumed something would eat me, or that I'd do everyone a favor and die of hunger. But as always, I failed to live up to expectations. I wandered the woods for a week, went purple from the cold, gnawed the bark from twigs. Finally, I saw a light among the trees. A campsite. They were bandits, bearded, drunk, spattered with blood. I was sure they'd rape me or kill me. Or both.
Take it neither happened?
That's when I learned a robber and a murderer can be a better man than a knight in shining armor. They took me in, we set off for Nazaire, and I did what I could to repay them. I advanced in their ranks rather quickly. Eventually, I became their leader. Of the whole ragged band.
Should have stayed there, maybe.
Perhaps. Perhaps I should have forgotten everything, started a new life. But you know what? There came a point when I thought, you wanted a monster. Then a monster you shall get.
Been through a lot.
I have. And throughout this time, my sister was stomping grapes and shagging minstrels on down bedding.
She wasn't the one to banish you.
And I'm not angry at her for that. I'm angry at her because she forgot about me. Right. We've had our chat. Come.
Three bears.
3 stools, 3 beds, 3 bowls.
One a bit too big, the other too small, a third just right. Blonde curls. body's too mutilated. Hard to say anything.
She got what she deserved, as I see it. Always took what she wanted without asking.
No beam here. Gotta keep looking. Something to show us.
Careful. It's not to be trusted.
Night's strange. Doesn't look like he's out of any fairy tale I know. Wonder how he got here.
In past times, Henrietta and I would occasionally run into them here. You see, knights errant far outnumber princesses in the real world, so some knights would sneak into the playroom, then into this land, in search of their fairy tale damsels. That's all.
Only to be shredded to bits by a swarm of pixies. Irony's delicious. This Longlog's tower?
Indeed. It's even taller than I remembered.
Wait. What Joss said about the third beam, remember?
In the possession of a bold farmhand somewhere deep beneath the ground. Yes, this must be it. Let's go. It always grapple up her braids in the past, but I don't see it anywhere.
We'll find another way up. Could pull myself up here, and I'll have to make that jump.
If you say so, I shall wait down here if it's all the same. Climbing's not my strong suit.
Prince's corpse. Tried to free Longlocks, but fell and broke his neck.
Can't believe I'm here, dog. Pretty fucking high up. Holy shit. What the fuck?
There it is. Would have stumped to climb all that way for nothing.
What the fuck? Okay. Jeez. Leap of faith. Let's go.
So?
Got the beam, but Longlocks. Seems she got sick of waiting for a knight in shining armor.
Can you blame her? Men these days, dandies and fops all.
That why you cozied up to a vampire?
Dettlaff was a tool, and only a tool.
Too bad he didn't know that.
I trust no one. Learned that long ago. Now it's his turn.
use him. Was that your plan from the start?
No. At first, I was simply intrigued. Do you know the story? It was in Messina, a few years past. I'd gone there to pass some loot off to a fence I know. We were hashing out the terms when in walked Dettlaff. He said he'd come to sell a silver candlestick. He gripped it through a cloth. That caught my eye. I followed him out, observed him from a distance, but he caught on quickly.
Yeah, superhuman senses will do that.
He turned down a blind alley. I followed. He jumped out from behind a crate, baring his teeth. I suppose he'd wanted to frighten me. Alas, he didn't in the least. After all, I'm a monster too, am I not?
A higher vampire and you were unimpressed? Don't know if that's brave or just plain foolish.
I've always had a way with ostensibly dangerous, quiet types.
That's supposed to be about me too?
Oh, brother, I hate to disappoint you, Geralt, but your belly button is not the center of the known world. Though, you do remind me of him a bit, stifling all emotions inside you, ever feigning indifference. You see, when I met Dettlaff, somehow I knew, call it intuition, that he meant me no harm, that he was trying to frighten me off, for he too was scared. Now do you understand?
I guess. What happened then?
We talked, then met up once, twice, 3 times. Enough that he became infatuated. I truly enjoyed it at first, but only at first. He did not love like a man, but like an animal, madly, deeply, unconditionally, wildly. To return such a feeling, anyone would be hard-pressed, let alone someone as twisted as I am.
So there came a day you just up and disappeared.
Yes, there was no other way. Let's just be friends, or I don't deserve you. He'd never have understood that sort of thing. But then, once I decided to return, clean up some old affairs, I remembered him and concluded he could still be of use.
Playing with fire, that.
Definitely. And either I'll get burned or I'll burn all else down. No other options.
Got a history with Dettlaff now, so this meeting will be different. Not afraid?
I can handle him.
Mm-hmm. Sure about that?
You look at him as a witcher and see a monster. I know what he's really like. You needn't worry. It's time to go. Just a bit more work and we'll be able to say sort off to this fecking fable sphere. Now we must plant them by the path near Longlock's tower. Then prepare to meet the giant. Right,
come on.
This is the spot. Pull out the beans. Wait!
Why?
This stalk will sprout abruptly. Very abruptly. We must be careful. All right, toss them!
Something's always gotta go wrong.
The home stretch.
We really gotta climb this shit though. Holy shit.
Incredible.
Admire the view later. First, we must deal with... him.
Maybe ogre oils? You gotta be kidding me.
Fairy tale creature. That was one tough son of a wench.
I told you this land had gone ape mad, though I did not expect it to be so severe.
Can't help thinking you might have done that on purpose.
Why ever would I have?
To get rid of your guard, your captor. Getting close to the exit at this point. Probably think you don't need me anymore.
Well, you're wrong. You still stand to be quite useful to me.
That so? How? Plan to use me like you did Detloff?
No, I need you for a purpose far simpler. Well, don't just stand there and stare. I need a man, Geralt, and I'm not afraid to say it. I have no idea what awaits me once we leave this place. Treat it as my last wish.
Are we really smashing on in Fairy Tale Land? What is going on? Spider-Man kiss? There's a Savannah romance? What? I did not know this.
Just gonna go our separate ways? No parting words?
Did you wish to tell me something?
Actually, that'd probably be best.
Oh my. No woman's ever treated you this way.
Not that I recall, no.
In that case, at last you felt what so many women in this world feel at times.
this tale has a happy ending. For me, for you, for everyone.
That may very well depend on you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing beyond what you heard. For now. Come. The exit's this way. Go on, jump in the well.
Another will-o'-the-wisp. Why do you want the heart of Toussaint and the ducal wine?
They were my right, my due.
Doubt we would have figured you out if you hadn't tried to get them. Know that, don't you?
I do, and I regret nothing. One lives but once. Here, we need but jump into the well. You first.
In a fountain? Not terribly practical.
It was a secret passage. Henrietta and I would use it to...
Hide from your governess, which luckily she noted down in her diary, thus I knew where to await you. Never mind that. Has the young lady agreed to help clean up the mess she's made?
She has. And stop treating me as if I were a child.
Would you prefer I treated you like the lying manipulator you are?
Calm down, both of you.
But...
No buts. Let's go. Really want to be done with this. Nice place.
Isn't it? Offers a lovely view of the valley. On a clear day, you can see the outlines of Duntine.
Is it, though? A ruin like any other, I think.
So sensitive, so aware. Honestly, what did Detlef ever see in you?
Perhaps he'll tell you himself.
You nervous?
Mm-hmm. It's always a bit nerve-wracking meeting an ex.
I doubt he'll be in the mood for jests.
I know. May I be honest? Yes, I'm nervous. I really would prefer just to run up.
Let's... Syanna, I have a question I must ask you.
Did you truly feign it all? That which bound us was a ruse?
Detlef, it's not that simple.
Oh no, it's very simple. You either deceived me or not. In forgiving you, I grieve. For now, we must part.
What? But how?
The ribbon?
Ha! Seems I've been fooled again. She will pay for this, sooner or later. She will pay! You never should have meddled with her!
Didn't know any of it.
Silence!
Not bad.
What?
Leave him to me. Be gone.
I can't let...
I insist.
What just happened, yo?
My, what a smashing ensemble. You wear it well.
Shut up. I look like a twit.
The caftan is sewn of the best fabrics available, and according to the best tailoring practices. But one must have a modicum of taste to appreciate this. Even the most exquisite robes cover only deficiencies in beauty, never in refinement.
Usually wear something different, better suited to my trade. Got nothing against this particular outfit, though. Just don't exactly feel comfortable in it. And I despise formal occasions.
Nothing one can't get accustomed to. Now, be so kind as to stand still. All that being as it may, Toussaint's highest honor, the Order of Vitis Vinifera, demands appropriate attire. The Duchess cannot be expected to drape the medal on a suit of armor caked in mud. Palace protocol places enormous emphasis on form, virtuous tradition, etiquette.
Huh. A tradition which values appearances ahead of all else. Which calls for lordly, glistening triviality and misplaced generosity.
Sound wistful. Pensive, Regis. That because they refused to buy you a new outfit?
Hardly. It's the tone I ever adopt when I find myself pondering, which, believe it or not, happens quite a lot. Besides, I've no need for a new outfit as I shall not be attending the ceremony.
Why not?
Because unlike you, I don't have to. I shall begin to pack my belongings instead. I trust you'll join me later, once you're richer by a medal and a fascinating new experience?
Count on it. Ceremonies, medals honoring virtues, just keeps coming up.
I've had no reprieve either. And I keep thinking of the last great virtue, compassion. It's the one piece of the puzzle that never seemed to fit.
Mean you suddenly believe the 5 virtues theory, after all we've revealed?
It's not a question of belief, superstition, or old wives' tales. It's a conclusion derived through exercising pure logic. Syanna planned everything in advance. Had we not stopped her, surely there'd have been a 5th victim. One the gossips would have associated with a lack of compassion.
Her plans don't matter now. Can't act on them. Ask the messenger who delivered my invitation to the ceremony. Syanna's in the palace. Courtiers pressured the Duchess to lock her in a tower.
Do you care not a whit who else was in her black book? We've some time before the ceremony. We could still chat with that boot-cleaning urchin. He was the one to pass the victims' names to Declav. Perhaps we missed something.
Regis, Bootblack didn't say anything about making deliveries when we talked to him. How do you know he handled the letters?
While you basked in glory and tried on new formal wear, I conducted a little investigation of my own. you'd be very proud to see how I conducted
Through the
myself.
shoes he was
I
delivering.
began by concocting an ample supply of boot wash for our enterprising young friend. I'd observed that among street folk, amidst their society as a whole, reciprocity takes precedence over all other codes, and thus no good deed goes unrewarded. Of course, the same holds true for malicious or destructive deeds.
The letters. What's the connection?
When the bootblack arrived to collect his bucketful, he hinted he knew more. Simply put, we'd failed to ask the proper questions when we chatted earlier. It took a bit more tongue-loosening, but ultimately he spoke. He admitted he'd handed Declarf the letters. He knew this information was valuable to me. In providing it, he was simply repaying me.
Could be worth checking with the bootblack again. Meet you by a stand.
Fine. I shall await you there. Shoot the breeze with the charming lad to pass the time.
The bootblack? In the lower city? Intent to soil my masterpiece in the city's gutters?
Promise to be careful.
This is Beauclair, not some flea-written province. A coin, or I'll spew of your boots.
Was spekle Piota? Man's root for lust is the coin of all ink.
I agree completely, young man. Greetings, Geralt.
Oh, it's the swordsman. Good to see you. Here for a spiffing? Dirty boots are a stain on professional dignity, you know. Step on up.
Need to ask you something.
Yet again? Go on then. I'm a proponent of free speech and I will gladly tell you all I know. But why not get your boots shanked while we jabber?
Guess they could use a spit and polish.
Then I shall take advantage as well. A friend of mine used to say boots should be as clean as the soles that wear them.
Clean boots, clean soles. A fine slogan.
How's business?
Well enough?
Man in the front.
Why, of course. I mean,
If you're about to tell me this information will cost me, forget. How'd you get...
beggars brought them.
What?
You didn't ask.
Beggar?
Why, 4?
Just 4? Sure you didn't get a 5th?
I can't count, you know.
Remember anything else? These
What? Come now. Each was different. Some had mismatched boots. Oh,
Kid, my patience is starting to... Remember...
Of course.
Geralt, allow me to ask a question. Listen, but you must focus now and tell us all you know.
Well, at the shelter, most like.
Where?
Everyone.
Thanks, kid. You must visit the shelter. Look around inside.
No one gives a hoot about us.
You've to move your little camp elsewhere, got it? This is a decent district. You? What do you want?
To talk.
Here, that's a waste of breath.
Gentlemen, calm, please.
Scram!
The
Look, damn you.
decent folk.
Why?
Hell,
Hear that, Artois?
We should step aside.
bad idea.
All right. I could take a hit.
What did they want from...
They are neighbors.
What did you help?
Because
Need some information.
they both black.
And
Forgive me. Those I... You can question them.
sure.
They're...
Thanks.
My dears, have a matter to it.
Recently, for...
Does anyone know what's the
Why should I squeal? We were all told not to mention the letters. We all
You can tell me, Romain.
I got one too.
I still have mine. I'm to the
It's a matter of importance to the duchy. Hand it over.
But I was to deliver it personally. Let no one else...
You ought to heed folk who are kind and honest.
All right.
Damn it.
What is it? Another name, truly?
See for yourself.
Well. I must say, even I did not expect this. This time you will see to our Duchessa. It seems we underestimated Syanna rather grossly.
Judging by this, Detloff was literally supposed to tear her heart out.
Yet first you must snap her neck. Puzzling.
Puzzle complete.
Alas, the matter ceased to be a tantalizing brain teaser and has turned incredibly grave. We've proof of a plot to assassinate Toussaint's ruler. We've proof of a coup d'etat.
Duchess was to be Detloff's last victim. Syanna planned it from the start.
Indeed. The logical conclusion got...
4 seemingly random victims to start. The virtue's their only link. Enough to get folk talking about a righteous, vengeful beast. Obscured the victims' links to Syanna, even as she had those
Had she managed to fulfill... She was known...
Why would Syanna murder her own sister? Out of envy?
Yes, yes, and yes. All seem likely, and none are mutually exclusive. But if you'd like to know for certain...
Think it's a good idea? After all, we foiled her carefully planned scheme. Think she'll even want to?
Talk to you? Some philosophers think empirical... I believe you mentioned the Duchess keeps...
Courtiers were insisting on a harsher... One way or another, she's... So, meet up once it's over?
You assume correctly.
takers? Last call, then I head home.
Watch my bum. Vampires. Real life.
Tweedledee, tweedledum. Go on. Who's next?
A tip of the hat to the tourney's victor.
I've 3 doublets, none of which are suitable to show myself.
Halt!
Need to see Syanna, urgently.
In the matter of?
Want to talk to her. It's important.
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duchess's orders. No doing without special permission. Period.
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation, urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
The witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorius' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the 5th victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Deadloff is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Syanna, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why do you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Perhaps. Just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her?
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henrieta'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure. But there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good. Sometimes only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me, hmm?
Syanna, you were exiled when she was how old? 12? 13? She was a child. What was she supposed to do? Rebel? Organize a coup? Steal your father's seal and forge a pardon? She was powerless. Wiped you from her memory not because she didn't care, but because your departure was traumatic for her. She forgot because that was the only way she could handle the pain.
Ugh. You meant what you said in the Land of 1,000 Fables. You really want a happy ending to this story, don't you? Ah, with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Syanna.
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
Let's go. Want to see him too. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Your face doesn't look good. Though it looked even worse last I saw you.
I apply a balm of arnica. Yeah, I hardly feel it anymore.
All right, we can start.
Very well. But you must behave. Less like a hired thug, and more like a man deserving of the Duchy's highest honor. In fact, you'd do best to maintain a dignified silence throughout. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits. In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business.
Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Toussaint's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, Slayer of the Beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
Feels like a second distinction. I'm honored. Thank you.
I trust you shall make good use of it. In a moment I shall speak to Syanna. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet you also showed me her horrendous deeds. As head of state, I must judge her fairly, but she is my sister. Thus my heart bleeds for her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
I'm not a prisoner, free to do as I choose.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister, and my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Bitterness consumes Syanna. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Syanna?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child, thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents had I sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But your dagger hurt most. You were my Henrietta, damn it. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace. Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark, and which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace. Supposed acts of cruelty. Inappropriate friendships. They cast me out. But you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony, it was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips. How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diabolus variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind that I am a vampire and thus need no light to see, I'd never believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So, shall we?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. but I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
This moonlight makes me oh so dreamy.
For your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse? Bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He is a vampire after all.
Regis!
Damn it, where'd you go? Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning, then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home, on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
yet. Might find the life of a hard-working vintner too tempting one day. Or maybe I'll just stick to the path, go on roaming, staring up at the stars after laying my bedroll at the roadside.
Ah, roadsides, bedrolls, and the sky above. I sense some poetry coming on, which of course brings to mind Dandelion. I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you?
Distant.
Nilf.
Why ever not? The Nilfgaard...
I'll take off
so
my
we shall,
mask.
my friend.
Please let me take off my
and
mask.
In fact, on several occasions,
Put it on
incited
accident.
many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve...
That we do. Actually, I'd love to go home.
Who would have thought? Knights trading in wine.
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
What's that smell?
You look good. Come. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
What did you bring?
A Garkin from Angren. I slew it. All by my lonesome.
That why you left Carrera so suddenly? Had no idea where you'd gone. Your note was puzzling. Don't try to find me. Threw me for a loop.
That was silly. It's just that I felt stifled in your shadow. I'd have suffocated had I stayed. So when I read that notice, the contract, when I saw Angren, I knew I had to do it. Alone. Without my nanny.
I'm not your nanny. I believe in you. Like my new house?
The house is lovely, but it could use a bit of work.
Yeah, got plans for it, don't worry. Wanna go outside? Could show you the grounds.
Ah, it's lovely here. I could stay forever.
What's stopping you?
Actually, not a thing. I slew a Garkin, collected my bounty. I believe I'm owed some respite.
Indeed you do, mademoiselle, as my major domo would say.
You've a butler?
A steward. Name's Barnabas Basil. BB for short, though I don't know if he likes it. He's the one let you in. I'll ask him to bring in some fruit, a beverage. You can spend the rest of the day lying about.
Ah, nothing would make me happier.
Angren, how'd it go? Garcanes can be pretty tough opponents.
That's why I had to lure this one to a place both spacious and empty, where it would have nowhere to hide. I found an abandoned crypt far from any town or village.
Good choice. Always best to avoid additional casualties, so your foe had nowhere to hide. But the bastard was still damn quick, I bet.
Not as quick as I am. My greater worry was its strength. I was far outclassed there. But a dose of black blood did the trick. We fought a while, I feigned a mistimed dodge and let it drink. The rest was easy.
Encountered the most charming aspect of being a witcher yet?
Which aspect is that?
The hatred, disgust, that strange blend of admiration, fear, and contempt.
They set their hounds on me in one village. In another, they forbade me from taking a drink from their well. Other than that, it's been all right. No one's tried to cheat me out of my reward so far.
I'd hoped they'd treat a woman differently.
Geralt, when they treat a woman differently in this world, it hardly ever means better. Quite the opposite.
Being a witcher anything like you imagined?
Geralt, I didn't have to imagine anything. Remember, before we parted, we walked a good stretch of the path together.
Journeyman and master, though, not the same thing.
I'm still a long way from mastering anything, but I am trying. Anyway, I did learn from the best.
Just passed on what worked for me, or at least tried to.
I was thinking of Eskel and Lambert.
So, no regrets? Choice you made?
Not at all. I'm doing what I ever wanted to do. Being who I wanted to be. I believe that's one definition of happiness.
See you later, Ciri.
Take care of yourself.